A teacher draws the best out of his pupils, imparts to them the best traditions of human civilization, and prepares them how to confront best the challenges of life. Rene Lagaya. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And to you, Cherry, how are you today?
I'm good, Heather. How about you?
I am good as well, hoping things will turn out successfully.
I agree. May our seminar be remarkable through achieving our set goals and meeting our participants' expectations.
Yes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yes. So, to formally start our seminar, we request the participants to please stand for the invocation and to be led by Mijoy Isugan.
And please do remain standing for the singing of the national anthem, followed by CITU hymn.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord as we say, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you in all the lovely things so fine and true. I see you in the beauty of the flowers and the rain. I see you between the lines of a sweet refrain. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you. Even when I'm lonely and in pain, I see you in the beauty of the stars at night. I see you in my life, I feel alright. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you in the smile of a baby, sweet and true. I can see you in the eyes of my very best friends. I see you in these bonds, just like a love that never ends. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I see you, Lord.
Together, glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, the world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong buhaw. May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw na kailan pag may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
The singing of the CIT hymn.
All hail maroon and gold, thy colors enfold. All royal technologians, whose hearts are strong and bold. All hail maroon and gold, on breezes descend. Thy skies we love. All hail, all hail. All hail, maroon and gold. To thee we shall cling through all the years and ages. Thy praises we will sing. All hail, maroon and gold. Thy strength near shall fail. For thee we'll die. All hail, all hail. For thee we'll die. All hail, all hail.
Please be seated.
To give you the gist of our seminar, may I call on Roslyn Vincent Caliantes for the opening remarks.
Okay. Good morning, future educators. Good morning. How are you today? Feeling fine. Okay. I would like you to co-hit your left side and said, "What's good in this morning?" Yes. You do it. Good morning. And co-hit on the right side and said, "It's OB time." It's OB time. Are we good? Yes. My dear audience, what do you know about OBE? Can anyone? Let me see. What do you know about OBE? Yes, outcomes-based education, but do you have a simple idea about it? No? Okay, I will tell you what is it. OBE is focused more on outcomes. Okay? It is a student approach, or student-centered approach. The outcomes is more on what you actually do from what you have learned, right?
Yes.
To know further about the OBE in this morning, I would like you to listen and relax for this seminar entitled Outcomes-Based Education Strategy in Teaching of Science. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. To continue, let's be acquainted with our speakers.
First, we have Mary Darlene Sabanal. She'll be talking about the OBE and its principles. Second, Lana Jane Tapping, Cherame Chang, and Navian Monleon for the futures of an OBE classroom.
Third set of speakers, Heather Marie Abalo, Roslyn Coliantes,
Mapalong na gani siya 8 minutes.
Lizelle Lim, Matthew Babel, and Ian Hernizas to explore the science curriculum conceptual framework. Factors in choosing strategies will be discussed by Major Isugan and Luis Cassandra Visario.
OBE strategies in teaching science are to be discussed by the following speakers. Cherry May Chang for discussion strategy, Lani Jane Tapping for demonstration strategy, Nabian Monleon for presentation strategy.
Heather Maria Balo for ICT integration, Major Isugan for experimentation, Matthew Babel for inquiry-based learning, Lizelle Lim for simulation, graphic organizer for Roslyn Vincent Coliantes, cooperative learning for Luis Bisario and Ian Hernizas.
Thank you, speakers. Sit back, relax, and indulge the bits of information we will be sharing with you. I now give the floor to the first speaker, Mary Darlene Sabanal.
So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mary.
Before we'll start our proper seminar, let us present to you the house rules. First, turn off gadgets or put it into silent mode, so that you will not be distracted or stay away from temptation, so please guys. Second, listen and show respect to the speakers. So if you have some concerns, give us that on the Q&A portion, but for now, please do listen to us so that understanding will happen. Third, be active, participate, and speak up if you want. So when we ask questions, please participate. Fourth, ask questions after the seminar in the Q&A portion. And the fifth, when we leave, please, let's keep this hall clean as we reach here, as we arrive here. Thank you. So, these are our objectives. So, explain outcomes-based education, state the basic principles, explore the science curriculum, conceptual framework, give the features of OBE, enumerate factors to consider in choosing strategies, and apply strategies supported by OBE in teaching science. So as an overview, we'll start with OBE and its principle. The second are the features of the classroom in an OBE. Third, that would be the factors to consider when you will choose a strategy. And fourth, we will know what are the strategies that can be applied in teaching science. OBE, outcomes-based education. Again, I will ask the question that Rose asked earlier. What do you know about outcomes-based education? We heard it a lot of times. We heard it more than 10 times. So, what do you know about outcomes-based education? Anyone from the audience? Any word that you can relate about OBE? Yes, Pat, thank you.
In my own knowledge, OBE is a learner-centered approach. It focuses on the outcomes. It refers to what the learners can do with what they know. That's all.
Yes. Pat said the right words then. So why do you think Philippines go for OBE? We all know that we are moving towards globalization. It means we are connecting with other countries as one. So Philippines is trying to adapt to education that will make our learners be competent whenever we will go. Be competent even if we are in the other countries. That means we are implementing the K-12 curriculum. Because we are no longer in the old days that memorizing tons of information is enough. No. Philippines has to adopt that when a doctor comes to United States, he is also a doctor. Not just given as caregiver, nurses. No. We are prepared to be a doctor, as teachers. So when we work, we should act and perform as the professionals that we have. So, science curriculum, K-12 curriculum. So, it is done in the Philippines on year 2012 under CHED Memorandum 46. And because we are now in the K-12 curriculum, related to that is the implementation of outcomes-based education. It means the content standards, performance standards, and competencies are aligned with the education that we have today. So, OBE. OBE has been interpreted in different ways. Some say it is just something that DepEd is being implemented to the school education. Some say it is a practice. But OBE can be viewed in three different ways. A theory of education, systematic structure for education, and classroom practice. It means theory of education. Theory can be viewed as theory because it has set of expressions, theories, or beliefs that the education has to follow. If you believe in the theory, then your structure in the school must follow with the theory what you believe. For example, the DepEd tell us, you should follow OBE, then your school does not follow it. Do you think you will have a genuine outcome? No. So, classroom practice, theory, and systematic structure must be aligned. So, since the government already implemented the OBE, then the education system must follow it. So the structure of our educative process must be OBE. It means the curriculum and on how we teach, how we assess the learning of the pupils. So it also follows the curriculum, the classroom practice. For example, DepEd told us that we follow OBE. Then the school, for example, CITU, it also follows OBE. But the goal of the government will be defeated if the teacher or the classroom does not follow it. So, we're talking here as a person that I want you to understand the change that we're going to face as we become teachers. Why does government change this curriculum? Why does the government change the things that we already call the kasanayan na? There are things that we already used to do, but why do we have to change it? Because change is inevitable. Dili mapugnan. Change is necessary. We all know that children are changing. The way they learn, the way they acquire things are changing. So the education system must not be stagnant. Because if we will not consider those changes, our education system will not be effective. If we know that they're already effective, then you are not teaching.
Yes.
So OBE is the theory, is the classroom practice, is the systematic structure of education that we're facing when we are teachers. So we must know what it is. So, what is OBE? So, OBE focuses on outcomes, on what we want our students to do when they already exit the school. So, how can we achieve these outcomes, or how can these outcomes be met? So, it starts with the supporting decision making or the data on what theories will we apply, and those theories will only remain words if the school will not plan for it. So, the system of the education must have the planning on how these theories be implemented. And if we have the planning, then the teacher in the classroom must realize those plans that the school has. So again, OBE is focused on outcomes. It is just like traveling. When you travel, you don't want just to say to yourself, wherever we will go, okay, that's it. No. When we travel, there's always a destination. Yes, diba? Because when we don't have an end goal, but wherever we'll go, it's just fine. But that's not the case. We always have to know where do we want to go. And we already want to go, we always think on what way we will go in that place. Like by walking, by riding a jeepney, by biking, and anything. And then from that, when we already do that, we already achieve where we want to go. So that's OBE. Thinking first on what you want the learners will do. It's just not like it is not just like entering in the classroom and teaching you what to do without any purpose.
Correct.
Yes.
Our purpose is to make the learners learn. So from that purpose, we will draw out the outcomes. What are the learners should do? What are the things that they have to learn? And when they learn, is it useful? Because we already have these complaints when we are young. Why are teachers making us memorize these things? It's so long, and it does not apply to real life. Yeah, right? Yeah. So it does not interest us to learn. I'm not talking about this to critique the previous teachers that we have. I'm talking about OBE to become the teachers that the school need, that the society need, and our learners need. We complain to those teachers, then we must not be those kind of teachers. So what we are going to do with OBE, we will plan on the things that learners want to learn in a way that is applicable to real world, so in real world complexities or problems. So that this means that we are going to teach them the things that they need to survive life. Because life is ever-changing and dynamic, so must education. Because if we will not adapt to the life that is ever-changing, they will stop schooling. Because they think that education is ineffective. They think that they cannot learn education. Have you ever recalled that those most famous scientists, those most famous inventors have stopped schooling? Why? Because the school system before does not provide their needs, like Steve Jobs. He thinks that everything he learned is not applicable to life. That's why he stopped. And we don't want that our learners stop schooling. Instead, we will make them competent. We'll make them learn the things that they should know. So that's it. If we have goals, then on how to achieve it must be aligned to it. And then on how to assess if our goals are connected with our outcomes, everything is aligned. And that's what we call constructive alignment. And that is outcomes-based education. We're focusing on outcomes that will prepare our learners to the real life scenarios. Next, please. So, OBE. So, do you think OBE is new? No. OBE is not new. It does not just exist in year 2012. OBE has already been practiced by some teachers, but not yet formalized You say formalized no to the educative process. But some teachers are already practicing it. For example, a teacher wanted her pupils to learn about cooking. So that's her outcome. So in teaching, he will teach them how to cook. Diba, Ninana? So they doesn't know nga, outcomes-based na di ay ito, but they are already practicing it. It was just later on formalized by some people like William Spady. So outcomes-based education, student-centered approach, anchored and focused on outcomes. Say, student-centered because we cannot learn for our pupils. It means we cannot be the one who are learning for them. But we can do something about it so that they will be learning. We can set the learning experiences. We can give learning opportunities that will make them learn. Student-centered because they are the one who will be making, or they are the one who will be learning. So they are responsible. They are responsible with what they learn. So we should not be the one that will just spoon-feed them, but we will make some stimuli or prepare some learning experiences that will help them learn. Anchored and focused on outcomes. Anchored means supported and focused on outcomes. You keep in mind that whatever you will do, you must have an end goal. You must have an outcome, a desired result of the things that you do. Because if you don't have that one, then you're lost. You're lost in teaching. It's just like, whatever outcome will come in my teaching, it's okay. But it doesn't make sense. Right? So we must have the outcomes that we want our learners to do and be able to know and learn. So that's it. So in Spady's words, outcomes-based education means clearly focusing and organizing everything in an educational system around what is essential for all students to be able to do successfully at the end of learning experiences. So outcomes that we want all students, all. We don't want that only 75% of your class will be learning, and those 25% left them behind. You're slow. The community doesn't need them. We only need those intelligent ones. So the OBE doesn't consider that one. OBE want all learners to be successful. And we can only do that if we have a clear picture of what we want them to do and to learn. It means when you will do OBE, you will think first of the things that you have to do. That's why when lesson planning, we always make first the objectives before making anything else, because those objectives are like short-term outcomes. The outcomes that are done in the classroom that will make the long-term outcomes that has been planned by the government or by the school. So in making objectives, for example, they are your outcomes. From those objectives, you will decide on the activities that you will do so that they can achieve it, right? So from those objectives, you make the activities. And then when you want to assess on how to learn, from those objectives also you will make those evaluations, those assessments. Because one of it is derailed, then it is not on something that is aligned. So, like it is what I'm talking about. Entitled learning outcomes, assessment, and the teaching learning process. It focuses on the outcomes that you want to achieve. So, keys to outcomes-based system. Developing a clear set of learning outcomes. So before you go through discussion or teaching, you must the outcomes clear, means measurable, means attainable. Okay? Next. Establishing the conditions and opportunities within the system that enable and encourage all students to achieve those essential outcomes. So from those outcomes, you will decide or establish the things or the ways that will achieve those outcomes or that will realize those outcomes. So, important feature of OBE, success for all students and staff. So what I'm talking about earlier, we want all our learners to be successful. You don't want that someone is left behind because he is slow, because he is someone that does not learn easily. So key purposes that reflect OBE feature. Ensuring that all students are equipped with knowledge, competence, and qualities needed to be successfully after the educational system. So the purpose is OBE is that we will equip our pupils or our students with the things that they need when they exit school. So it means we're preparing them in the classroom like the things that will be facing in the real life situation. So outcomes. So outcomes are not just those results from your tests, but these are outcomes that can be tangible, valuable, and significant to learners. It means when they graduate or they end with grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3, whatever they learn in the classroom, they are able to identify on how they will apply it, and they will be able to know on how this things relevant to life. So let's focus on that definition. Outcomes. Culminating this demonstration of learning, not curriculum content. So demonstration means whatever they know, they will be able to do it. So whatever they learn in the classroom, they will be able to apply it. So for teachers, when making your outcomes, you have to consider the demonstration verbs. That's why when we make objectives, we always consider that it is measurable, specific, because we are making here the things that will be focused on teaching. Then culminating. Culminating means outcomes are things that to be achieved at the end. And this can be called, if you graduate, these are called exit outcomes. But these outcomes cannot be achieved without enabling outcomes. And these enabling outcomes are the short-term outcomes that are done in the classroom. So for example, the culminating outcome or the exit outcome that we want to have our learners are effective, they will be effective communicators. So in the classroom, we will set activities that will achieve that outcome. So we'll have activities that will make them effective communicators. And learning. Learning here does not only mean that you know facts, that you are able to memorize facts, but you are able to demonstrate what you know. So if we are producing here engineers or teachers who does not only enumerate the theories but can apply. Have you heard engineers who have made some buildings that are being destroyed in earthquake? Because they know theories, but they are not able to demonstrate it well. Have you heard a teacher some have high honors, but when they teach, they are not as much effective as those who did not earn high honors. So we are producing your learners that are capable, that are able to conquer life, that can be able to be competent whenever they go because they know how to apply what they know. So bisan asa pa ilabay, katoy lang nahibaw-an, adyo'y gamit. That's it. So for Speedy, learning is not significant unless outcomes reflect the complexities of real life. So this can be reflected on these following life performance roles. So if you exit school, you will be parent. Whatever you will be, a worker, a teacher, an engineer. So like us, we're a teacher. So whatever the child will end up after graduation, or whatever will be in the future, he can perform these life performance roles. Learner and thinker, listener and communicator, implementer and performer, problem solving and finder, planner and designer, creator and producer, teacher and mentor, supporter and contributor, team member and partner, leader, organizer. So learner and thinker means when he learns things, he can sift on what are the importance and what are real. So it means he practices critical thinking skills and he has sound decision making. Listener and communicator. When you speak, you can be understood on the things or in the way that you want to be understood. So you will not have miscommunication. Implementer and performer. So it means in every situation you can contribute something, not only like say, yeah, kana, but you will do the action too. Problem solving and finder. When we find problems, we also resolve things. Planner and designer. So when we think of something, we can also make things on how to realize it. Creator and producer, so we'll be, if there are problems, so it might be that we'll be inventing something or making something out of the solution that we have made. Teacher and mentor, so if you are encountering situations that you have to counsel or you have to say something, then it has a good effect. Supporter and contributor, so like that you will collaborate with other people. Team member and partner means if you are part of a group, you are not only work individually, but you will collaborate with others. Then leader and organizer. So everyone does the work. So it does not just mean that you are the leader, you will do the things that like bossy, but you will also make things on doing it. So OBE principles. So Sir says, all students can learn, so I've already said this before, earlier. All students can learn and succeed, but not on the same day and in the same way. Successful learning promotes even more successful learning. Schools control the conditions that directly affect successful school learning. So it means all students must have the opportunities to learn. All students must have the opportunities that they will be successful because every student has a capability. We only have to prepare opportunities that are appropriate on how we'll hone them to learn. That's it. Then the OBE's power principles. Clarity of focus, high expectations, expanded opportunities, and deciding them. So this is it. Clarity of focus. It means these are the principles that you have to remember when you are following OBE. Clarity of focus, high expectations, expanding opportunities, and deciding them. If you can't remember that, remember the word CHED. Clarity of focus, high expectations, expanded opportunities, designing down. Clarity, let's start with clarity of focus. Means you have a clear outcomes. You're sure, you're certain of what you want your students to know. And then from that, you have your outcomes. Then you will decide on how to realize those outcomes. And that's what we call designing down. You will think on how that your content, your subject matter, will be taught through your strategies. So you will decide on strategies that will achieve those outcomes. So from those outcomes, you will have expanded opportunities. Why? Because every learner has different talent, different skills, so you have to consider them. You cannot just consider those who are intelligent, but every pupil must have the chance to be successful. If you believe that all your learners can be successful, then they will. Then last is that higher expectations, because learners are more motivated when they are challenged. They are more motivated when you are also trying to challenge on what they are capable of, but not too much, because if you'll challenge them that are too high, they may be discouraged. So all we want is that all learners are be successful, and the teachers are responsible on making ways on how they are be successful. Therefore, we are the one who are responsible on setting learning opportunities so that learners learn. They are maybe the one who are learning, but the factor on how they learn, on making them learn is up to us, on how we set the classroom. Therefore, I will leave you with this quote. Please, but be challenged. Mahatma Gandhi once said, you must be the change you want to see in the world. So the next speaker will be talking talking about the OBE features of the classroom. So the world is changing, so the classroom maybe have these features that we don't know yet before. Okay. So good morning. That was a laptop, right? Yes. So I'll be discussing features of OBE classroom. So there are four T's of the features of OBE classroom. Please. So these are the thinking, task focus, teamwork, and transcendental. So I'll be discussing thinking and task focus. So thinking, we future teachers, we want that our students are active thinking, right? Active thinkers, right? So we should motivate them to. We should motivate our students to motivate them the important concepts and to apply new understandings and skills that deals in exploring and so we should motivate students with the important concepts and deals in exploring and to so so as you can see in the picture, so there are two types of teacher. So one teacher is teacher-centered and another teacher is the student-centered. So the teacher-centered, he said that I expect you all to be independent, innovative, critical thinkers who will do exactly as I say. So the mistake here is that in thinking, the teacher must let the students work. The teacher must let the students think. So we teachers, we should challenge them to think and so if we teachers ask, do you understand this and kung ano na siya, understanding level of thinking. So but we want beyond or higher than So as teachers ma-challenge siya ganito if our students can mo ask ganito question kanang beyond sa our lecture. So mo ask sila kanang beyond sa our lecture. So mo na siya na ang students kay nagkuan gani siya kanang naminaw jud siya niya so as thinking. So Next is task focus. So this is the teacher's knowledge that you give them. So the knowledge that you give them, we should give application activities to the students na kanang magamit nila in real life. So these are tasks that they can use in real life. So as a teacher, you make your student do something. So for example, in science, so students sila knowledge about kaano kanang digestive system. So as a teacher, you make them do something. For example, how digestion works. So the students will group your students and group the students. So group the students and let them think ganina to create. So challenge them to create, solve or evaluate. So challenge them to solve, evaluate, or create. So as your question is how digestion works, so let the students think of a creative idea on how digestion works, so they can use a model or they can role play. So, siya sa task focus. Next will be discussed by Miss Cherry Cha.
So, good morning everyone. I'll be talking about teamwork. So, how among you here have tried to work with other people? Alright, so teamwork is a collaborative effort of team to create something or to build something with other people. So in education or in a classroom setting, we need to help our students to let them interact with their classmates or with their co-students in order for them to prepare in the future, because guys, we know in the future we will be working with other people, right?
Yes.
So teamwork is very important for our students since they will be we need to implement teamwork in the classroom. So, example for this is gonna join group activity or this one, seminar, right?
Yes.
So your strategy must also, so your strategies somehow also include these features you need in order to have your students to be prepared and ready for the future. Next is transcendental. So transcendental, what do you think transcendental means? Anyone? Transcendental means beyond the classroom. So what does it mean? You transcend the classroom, you ideally integrate or you let your students interact with other people in different kinds of fields or class activities with different kinds of out-of-class activities like community work. So example is tree planting, mangrove, and also the community extension, right? But are you okay? You can also let your students to let attend forums on conference where they will learn. And aside from learning, they will also interact with other people at the same field. So, community-based experiences. So, community-based experiences, partnership with professional and international exchanges like OJTs. Kaya there are some schools man nga nag-provide o ay kanang na sila mga students nga para sa other nga country like the Japanese, pwede to siya. The purpose of this is to get them a broader context of learning. So it is also motivational because at a young age they will able to see the future that will come. So nowadays kanang di ba we always ask nga unsay gamitan niya akong gibuhat, unsay purpose ani kong pagtuon, di ba? So if you let your student experience or see the real world, then they might realize how important or what's the use of their knowledge and skills that they have learned. So maybe they can be a better, students or people the next. So the next speaker is Naomi Malion.
forgot that for this, okay? The thinking, the task focused, the teamwork, and the transcendental, we have this kind of A's, okay? These are active, collaborative, and experiential. So, when we say of active, it is mostly what? Giovanni, what is it?
Engaging student.
Good, engaging students, teacher, and students collaborations. That's it. It's very important to use this during in discussing. Next is collaborative. So when we say of collaborative, it is mostly teamwork, cooperation with the students. Yes. And then when you have this kind of groupings, students will teamwork with each other. Then once they will have this kind of teamwork, they are able to learn with each other. So next, okay. Next is experiential. We already know this because usually this is the main goal of K-12 education. We want our students to engage in real-life situations, especially in teaching science, right? Good, so that's it. So next speaker, so next speaker, I'm sorry, okay. The next speaker will be Mr. Ian Reneses.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Ayan.
Good morning. So, the past speakers are very well said because, very well said actually. And then, especially our team leader. So, okay. So first, our team leader is very right because OBE, sorry, because OBE is aligned with the student-centered. So, we all know that student-centered that
Align.
sige, basta align siya sa student-centered. So, what comes in your mind when you heard the constructivism and constructivism and in conceptual curriculum framework? So, who wants to answer? What is constructivism in your own understanding? Tina. Okay, Miss, please.
I think it is learning by doing.
Yes, actually yes. But the main meaning or purpose of constructivism is that teachers must provide the workshops or eventually workshops and yes, correct. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So provide workshop and then second is the teacher must start with the well explanation and ends by the demonstration that the learners what they understand the topic. Then second is the social cognition learning model. So when we say social learning cognition model, learning takes place through observation and modeling. Modeling. So this is meant to be observing of doing something or doing should be done by this one. And the next is the learning style theory. So learning style theory, which means that the teacher must have or must give his or her students a variety of teaching styles. Meaning, teaching styles, the teacher not focus on one side, but he or she give the students a variety or play or demonstration, role play. So third is the brain-based learning. So brain-based learning, it is the purposeful engagement of strategies based on how our brain works. So more on brain or cognitive skills. So the teacher, like me, I am essentialist. I am focusing on cognitive. Essentially, my philosophy is cognitive. My philosophy is essentialist. So I am focusing on the cognitive and how they apply it in real life. So that's all, and the next speaker is Mr. Matthew Lawrence Bacon.
Okay, good morning everyone. I am here to continue the discussion of approaches in the science conceptual framework. So the next one will be inquiry-based approach. So inquiry-based approach is an active method, is an active learning for the students. It is also learning and teaching method that is commonly used in elementary. An example of this is, it is commonly used in science when they are doing a experiment or any that needs analysis or needs problems that needed answers. Next one would be problem or issue-based learning. Problem or issue-based learning. It focuses on giving complex real-life problems that are given. It is made to promote the students' learning to learn concepts and disciplines. The third one is science, technology, society approach or contextual learning. Contextual learning is actually based on constructivism, but in this way is the teacher only presents the information, but the students answer or create their own meaning, but based on their experience. Next is multi or interdisciplinary approach. So, multi or interdisciplinary approach is connection between lessons in a one subject. So I remember Oro mentioned this one in our discussion about horizontal and vertical alignment, about the geometry. Yes, katong mga squares. In second year, connected siya sa third year ng geometry. Yes. Na-connected siya mo ano sa interdisciplinary approach. So, kana siya is kana So, the next speaker would be Mizelle Lin.
Hello everyone, good morning! Good morning! We will do it fast, huh? I know you're cold, so... Okay. We will have our snack later. So, I will talk about the three kind of the frameworks. So, the science teaching embraces the three domains. So, what are these domains? What are those? Yes. So, in cooking, and applying scientific knowledge. So in our science class note, our science teacher will tell us that we'll discuss about terms, concepts. So those belongs to the cognitive domains, the understanding and applying scientific knowledge. So kana siya is the K-12 naman na siya. So, what siya? Na-combine na nga to sa atong frameworks na understanding and applying. Because kinahanglan na niya, what you teach to them, the concept of terms, it should be applied. Next is demonstrating scientific inquiry. It belongs to the psychomotor domain because you will, mga examples like this is the, like for example, experiments. Yes, experiments. So those concepts, those terms, we will have an experiments to those, right? You have experienced that in our high school or in our elementary, right? Yes. Guys, let's be active. The developing and demonstrating scientific attitudes and values. This belongs to the affective. Yes, because of course you will reflect to what you have experimented. You will, yes, you will reflect to what you have demonstrated. You will kind of learn from what you have kind of do. So the next reporter will be Roslyn Vincent Callantes. She's excited already. Reporter? Speaker. Speaker, I'm so sorry guys. Calm down.
Okay, I'm back! Again! To continue the framework of the science, in teaching in science, inside the circle are three domains of teaching in science. These are the understanding and applying scientific knowledge, demonstrating scientific inquiry skills, developing and demonstrating scientific attitude and values. So, around the circles are around the circle that science teaching wants the student to become. First is critical creative problem solver. So, critical creative problem solver are able, they are helps the students to become able to problem solving in a real life situation. Next is the innovative, responsible steward of nature. They able to know they can handle responsibilities by knowing they both hold responsibility in their own about nature. Next is innovative and inventive thinker. So students can invent things in these days. You know the millennials have potentials, right? Yes, they're very potential than us. But don't worry, we can be like that. And next is informed decision maker. Informed decision maker, the student. Bob, you're so distracting me. The informed decision maker that a student can make decision in their real life. And next is the effective communicator. So, the next presenter is about the scientific literacy. Miss Heather Marie Abalo.
Hello guys.
Hi, Heather.
So these are the three main goals of teaching science. So first, scientific literacy. So it requires the decision making, mga participations in civics and cultural affairs and natural phenomena. And for example, earthquake preparedness tips. So, di ba, nag-use naman tayo na sa school. So what will you do if the earthquake happened? Di ba, duck, cover, and hold. Yes. The next is technological literacy. So it helps us to communicate, to solve problems, and enhance learning process for the future progress. Like for example, the Pag-asa can trace the typhoons, diba? Yes, through the use of their technology. The next is environmental literacy. So it refers to the air, land, water, ecosystem, food, and energy. So those can reflect to the topics of teaching science. So that's all.
So that was quite a long talk. So let's give ourselves a short break. So 10 minutes break to eat the snacks, to respond to the call of nature. So
The next speakers will talk about the factors to be considered when choosing strategy.
So, hi! Busog na mo?
Yes.
Wala pa? So I'll be talking about, we, May, Joy, and me, we're gonna talk about the factors in choosing teaching methods. So what are the factors? So before we dig into the factors, let's define first the methods. So methods are regular ways or orderly procedures employed by the teacher with the students to accomplish specific aims and general and specific aims. So in a classroom setting, it is a series of related and progressive acts to accomplish those outcomes. So in an educative process, what do you think are, what do you think are the most important factors in considering or in choosing teaching methods? Give me one.
Again.
What factors, or give me one factor that you will consider in choosing teaching method? Breathe in, breathe out.
Factors in
Choosing teaching method.
choosing teaching method.
Factors.
Factors.
Yeah. Give me one factor.
Validity.
Sige, validity. But, sige, go na. So, the first factor is the learners. So, why is it that the learners are the most important factor in choosing the teaching method? Sige, go ahead. Why do you think are the learners the most important factor in choosing the teaching method?
so that you'll be able to know
You know?
what teaching method you will
You will use.
You will use
So, yes, very good. So, learners, you have to, there are things you have to consider when you will choose a teaching method. So, learners. So, age, their learning styles, learning styles, intelligence, and those considerations need to be met, because when you say for example, so grade 3 man mag-start ang science sa grade 3 na. So sa grade 3, it is not possible, it's not kanang walay justice kung ang imong itudlo is lesson sa grade 4 nya, ang imong gitudloan is grade 3, di ba? Hi guys. So, mo to siya. So, teachers simply cannot provide students with appropriate opportunities to learn if they do not take the trouble to assess the students' prior knowledge, identify the possible difficulties, and to consider all these things in light of the needs, interests, and the background of the students. So, the second one are the teachers. So, of course, teachers' would is the most one of the most important factors because we are the ones who will teach the students what they should know and what to learn. Diba? Diba pa? So a teacher should have his or her should acquire teaching skills, should have an academic preparation, the interest and the abilities to teach the lesson. So, ikaw, maestra ka, so in a science class, so if wala kay interest sa subject, do you think, or wala kay wala kay interest o nga subject, do you think ma-teach ni mo siya og tarong? No. Diba, like, ikaw kay gana, maestra ka, nagtudlo ka ani, unsa man say ma-feel sa imong students, so wala sad sila. Dili sad sila ganahan kay the teacher should be the role model sad of the attitudes to learn, diba? So, guide the students, so the teacher will guide the students in the educative process, and teachers sifts the subject and this subject matter and decides what is to be taught to the children. So the third one is the subject matter. So subject matter, these are the topics, contents, and then topics. Sige, go. So, mo siya. So, you have to consider sa ang content ngayon mo itudlo, di ba? Kay if di mangutana mo jud ka, di ba, before like unsa man nga subject like maghimo tag lesson plan, di ba, kanang papilion ng taon sa to ang subject. Unsa man ta ay mas ganahan mi sa science, mas ganahan mi sa English. So dito ta magsugod. Mao sad na makahimo tag objectives, makahimo na ta sa through and through sa atong lesson plan. So, May Joy will be continuing the discussion.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, Ms. Louise already discussed the 3 essential factors in choosing methods, right? So, the learner is the teacher and the subject matter. So, as you can see in our PowerPoint presentation, no, ang subject matter na siya yung murag line. So, unsa man na siya ang kanang connected yun sa line. So, please, Mr. Bob. Yes, the objectives. I know you're so very familiar with these words, right? Yeah. Asa gini na ito ganito? Good sa lesson plan. So, as you can see, naa siya line. So, the subject matter and the objectives is connected. So, dito na siya pwede magbuwag. No? Because, seriously, dito na siya pwede magbuwag. Why? Because the objectives, mauni ang imuhang padungan. Like, unsay imuhang gusto nga mating sa mga students. So, in choosing, in creating an objectives, guys, you should gonna consider sa, ang objectives is dependent. The subject matter, sorry guys, the subject matter is dependent to your objectives. So, also, kung nano kay padungan, di ba? So, example, kani, ganahan ko nga, for example, ganahan ko akong student makahibaw ani. So, like, unsa man ang mga gamit kay para ang katong imo objectives kay ma-attain nimo. So, in choosing a teaching method, the resources also is very important. So, under the resources, kay naa dito ang time allotment and the school equipments and the facilities. So, when we say time allotment, it is the ang oras nga gigahin for that activity nga kanang makara ko ba nga like ang kami ko for example ganahan ko mo teach ani. So, for example, 1 hour ang given, di ba, na classes nga 15 minutes may gani. So, in choosing activity, in choosing a method in teaching science, kay mo, as a teacher mo, kabog ka nga, ang if siya, kay masulod ba siya sa time frame nga allotted. So, dapat, pag-unahan na sa ka as teacher nga, ay 1 hour. So, dapat, ang activity nga akong i-choose, kay dili sad kayo siya mulapas. So, dili, for example, kanang kuha siya ba? For 1 hour na siya nga ma-end gani nimo nga makita siya nimo if na-achieve ba nimo ang objectives. Next is, di ba I said nga naasad ang school ang school facilities and equipment. So, yeah. So, school without these materials, without the availability of these materials, this may hamper in targeting your objectives. Kaya nga kung for example, mag-experiment ka, I choose na, this way, this kanang method na, sige, ganahan ko mag-experiment for my students to be engaged yun. Then, wala kay materials, wala kay kuan. So, do you think na ma-achieve nimo ang mga objectives? Di ba? Dili. So, in choosing kuan, dapat these 5 teaching methods kay dapat imuha nang i-consider. No? So, for our next, for our next, sorry. So, for the introduction for the next phase of our program, our seminar, sorry. Let's welcome again Miss Darlene to have an introduction about the different strategies in teaching science.
So, for the second part, we will be introducing to you different strategies in teaching science. So, in OBE, it doesn't mean that we are focusing on outcomes. We will devalue those subjects that are already in traditional, or we will devalue those strategies that are in the traditional ways. But in OBE, we'll just enhance them or improve them. So, these strategies are drawn out from the approaches that were presented earlier. So, why do we have to plan for strategies? Because, remember, teaching is only teaching when learners learn. And it remains the responsibility of the teachers to provide learning experiences that will attain those outcomes. So, these are the different strategies. To start with, Cherry Chang will be discussing about this question.
So, discussion refers to free communication of ideas between the teacher and the students and among the students. So, discussion is a strategy in teaching science. So, it's a way of teaching where children express and share their ideas with each other. So, this means that when the teacher give ideas to the students, he or she must see to it that the students can learn from it, or they can absorb it from teacher, and as well as if the students will share their idea also, the teacher can also relate or absorb it. So, next please. Is a way by which teacher can promote the internalization and personalization of the learner. So, when the teacher teaches the students, she must ensure that the learners internalize the learning that she shared to her students personally. So, she must make sure that the students absorb it and and understand. So, and also the teacher must remain a facilitator or a guide to the students, can be a model to the students also. So this can be a form of group, small groups. Example is group seminar, your students. A forum, a group, conference, a debate, or an interview. So, muna siya mga pwede sa discussion. Here are some suggestions and reminders. So, give everyone a chance to participate in a discussion. So, di ba guys, sa una before purely teacher ang mag-discuss. But here today, we need the students to participate in the discussion. So we should give them example wherein they can participate, like question and answer portion during a discussion. So this can let the students participate in the discussion. So the teacher must remain as guide facilitator. So as what I said before, the teacher will not control the activities done by the student. Instead, he or she will just guide or help the students in doing the activity. So, encourage the children to express their own opinions and judgment or conclusions. So, the students, if you are the teacher, you must ensure that your learners will be able to express their own opinion and to give their ideas during the discussion. So, third is the learner also able to develop a communication skills, right? So avoid remarks that will embarrass the one who volunteers unusual suggestions. So, di ba, common kayo siya sa elementary before? Di ba? Common kayo na siya. There are group of students nga mag-volunteer ay kalit lang og story ang dili related sa topic. But if they kani sakto ang ihang i-solve or opinion, ato na siyang i-correct in a way nga dili ma-offend ang students. Kaya para dili sila makuhaan og self-confidence or man in front sa ilang classmates. So, the progress of discussion high depends on the teacher's skills questioning. So, the teacher must see to it that her standards in making the question must right, because so dapat right ang pag-question sa teacher sa iyang students kay para sakto sad ang ma-learn sa students. The next speaker will be Lani Jane Tappi.
So, good morning again. So, demonstration. The demonstration is a classroom methodology where the learning activity is performed by a teacher and then the students are observing. So, demonstration is a step-by-step procedure of any job task. So, demonstration, what is the purpose of demonstration? So, demonstration is to clearly show. So, the demonstration occurs when students having a hard time. Explain each step so that the students will understand. Next, there are 5 essential phases in demonstration. So, first is explanation. So, explanation
explanation must be clear. Then pertinent or related. The objective must be related to the lesson to be presented, and also based on the known experience and knowledge of the student. So the teacher must explain the end result of this effort. So explanation. So before ending this phase, the teacher must engage the student to ask question in any step of the procedure that they do not understand. So they need to clarify. So next is demonstration phase. So as what I said, demonstration phase is that the teacher must necessarily show the steps. Ano siya? Next is the student performance. So student performance, it means that the student must act or do. So to learn these skills, the students must practice. So through doing, students learn to follow a correct procedure and establish standards. So it is important that the students can be given an opportunity to perform the skill after the demonstration. So next is the instructor supervision. So as a future teacher, we should guide the students. And we should support the students during the demonstration. So namasay time na atong maka-demonstrate to perform sa demonstration ang student. So as a teacher mo support ta nila, guide. Next is evaluation. So evaluation. So the teacher judge the student's performance. So the students displays whatever competence has been attained or has been achieved, and the teacher discover how well the skill has been learned. So to test the ability of the students, they need to perform. So they need to perform, and the teacher will give the teacher will give the opportunity of the student to work independently through this phase. So from this measurement kay makabaw na ta ang effectiveness of instruction of the teacher kung naka-learn ba jud ang students. Next is the steps of demonstration method. So planning and preparation to introducing the lesson. 3 presentation of matter. 4 demonstration. 5 teaching aid. 6 evaluation. 6 na siya. And number 2, introducing the lesson. 3 presentation of subject matter. 4 demonstration. 5 teaching aid. 6 evaluation. So planning and preparation. So as a teacher, naman yung tayo lesson plan, no? So magkuha tayo kung sa objectives na to. So if kanang familiar, mag-prepare ta, familiar ba ta sa sequence and the content or proposed demonstration. Next is introducing the lesson. So the lesson is about, so I have an example. So I have an example. So my example is lang. So next is presentation of subject matter. So subject matter is the topic mo, no?
Yes.
So now sa yung value. So
sa lungs, what do you think the topic is lungs exercise? So, what do you think the values when it talks to lungs? Lung exercise?
Inhale, exhale.
Yes, taking care, love, yeah, sakto na. Taking care. Yeah, next is demonstration. So, example, ako yung teacher, as a teacher, so future teacher. So, as a future teacher, I will demonstrate on how the lung exercise. Kabamon sa lung exercise? What? Yes, inhale, exhale. So, ano siya, inhale and exhale. So, ang students, di ba, as what I've told you, ang students, mas ma-learn sila if ang teacher kay muha kuan sa procedure, step-by-step procedure. So, ano siya ha, ako ipakita, mas nito siya. O sa ganitong lang exercise? Good. Very good. So these are the diaphragm, gani. Diaphragm niya, the balloon serves as our lungs. So inhale. So as you see, mo expand siya, like muburot siya. Okay. Muburot ito siya. Muburot siya. Awana siya. Ano siya? Inhale, exhale. So kung exhale siya, kaya mubalik rin siya sa iyang normal size. So kisa ka na mo try. So, next is the teaching aid. So, multiple teaching aids, the materials or equipments of the teacher. So, multiple ko gigamit. I'm using lungs model. Yeah, evaluation. So, as what I told you, what I told earlier, evaluation is to test if the students learn. So, we're na-learn, nakataon man sa lung exercise. So, yeah. So, next. So, consideration in demonstration. So as a teacher, so before nandiyan kayo mga consideration. First is determine your goals. So, goals or objectives. So, as a teacher, you should objectives, yeah. Materials that you need, yeah, like that. Mga equipments, staff. So, the staff, yeah, rehearse. So, dapat teacher practice before, practice nimo if effective ba ang imong work budgets. Good. Next, wala ko example, fake lang. So, demonstration method is important in teaching because to make learning permanent. So, learning can be permanent if it's is permanent if it's stored on long memory. Very good, but long memory and successfully retrieved through a variety of circumstances. Number 2, cooperation of pupils in teaching learning process. So, cooperation, when we say cooperation, kay involves yun ang tanan, di ba? So, maka-learn ng students if kanang ang tanan ganin mo cooperate. Yeah. Next is, it motivates and develops interest in the learner. So, a good motivation of the classroom can help you in yeah. So help you in the so motivate and develops interest in the learning. Next is helps achieving psychomotor activities. So for example, in science, now when we say psychomotor, sa physical physical activities, right? Yeah. So physical activities. So sa science teacher, now sa dyan ay science and health, di ba? Yes. So true, science and health. So unsa may mga kuan para sa kanang health, di ba? Exercise. So as a teacher, kanang mo take our creative task. So create a creative task like kanang so unsa may kanang mga ganahan kay sa mga bata on. Unsa ba? Dancing, no, dancing. Never. Dancing, di ba? Ganahan dyan ang mga bata kung based sa observation ako sa grade 4 kay basta dancing na gani kay ganahan kay sila dyan sa grade 4 faith, ganahan kay sila. So, dancing. So, as a teacher, magkuan ka ng Zumba. So, yung activity is Zumba. Health. Health. So, health. So, Zumba. So, as a teacher, i-demonstrate mo ang kanang mga steps sa Zumba. Ikaw pa. Next is easy to understand. So, ano yung mga important sa demonstration? Understandable naman siya kayo, easy to understand. Yes. Next is effectiveness. So, obtain accurate and reliable findings. So, teacher, dapat yun, if you will give information to the students, dapat legit or exact information. So, if you will give exact information, students can create or can easy to formulate conclusions and generalization. So, it is not good teacher ka na yung mga ipanghatag sa students is dili mga tinuod, mga information or ideas that is not true. Diba? Yes. Next. So, these are the pointers in demonstrations. Procedure must be tried in advance. So, the procedure na mga steps, so you should try this. So, para ma-successful ang imong demonstration is you should try in advance ang imong mga procedure para kung may mga adjustments, kabaw na gani ka. Next, prepare all the materials to be used in advance. Prepare all the materials in advance. So, as a teacher, dapat ready jud ka. So, mga materials or equipments, kay naano jud na siya. Diba? Para sa imong demonstration. Kaya para dili na ka magkabongbo ang ganing panita. Yeah. Next is activities that are related to the subject. Yeah. So, parehas akong ganina science. So, akong activities ka to. Basta mag-demonstrate ka, dapat siya related sa imong subject. Lain sa kayo o ka ng musimang diba na ang imong topic is science niya, lahi imong i-demonstrate like magmata, mag-solve. Ano kasi solve? Math. 4 is that determine the length of time. So, dapat ka ba, you will start on time, finish on time. So, para na ma-discuss ka ng teacher can tackle everything. Next is feed the ability of the demonstrator to the skill required in the activity. So, the demonstrator is the teacher. Teachers. So, the teacher, so, dapat ang teacher is kanang, na siya ni knowledge, like mastery of topic, about siya, That would be also, next speaker is Miss Malianabe.
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me at the back?
Yes.
Okay. So, I have here a question, okay? So, unsa tong back to kanang kuan, high school days pa ninyo. What are those presentations nga ihatag sa inyong science Teacher.
Experiment.
Experiments, sorry. Experiments. Anyone?
Laboratory.
Any presentations or naghatag sa inyong science
Dissect.
teachers o
Dissecting.
doing some experiments like that. Volcano. What's up?
Dissect, teacher. Mag-dissect.
Oh, can you explain it?
So like for example, kay sa building ano, then kana ang itlog mo kay kana itlog. Okay, so gani siya kana
Sige, binisaya lang.
so mo siya kana
Ang itlog.
so mo siya or paper papel lang gani siya, then circle gani siya, doon na itlog duha. Pero i-hold mo siya because sa building i-hold mo pa naman siya sa boss, and mabuak ba siya or wala? So, wala no, really. Pero sa among result kay wala siya nabuak. As in, ha?
If matarong siya kung kuan.
Basta balance ang
Basta balance siya ang
Ay naman ay stick sa
Thank
paligid.
you, Ms. Geraldine. So, those are examples of presentation. So, we will tackle yes. We will tackle it earlier. So, my topic. Okay. When we say a presentation, it is a way to communicate a message through a creative way. Like, for example, through using your voice, your image, and your body language. So, of course, as a teacher, not only in science, we need to speak louder. Okay? Speak louder so that the students at the back can hear us. What if you have this 30 students or 30 plus students in the classroom? 40, 50, 60. Of course, you need to speak louder, like that. And then, you need to speak clearly. Why? So that your students can understand you. Very good, but. And then you need to use your body language, of course, your facial expressions, your emotions, and others, so that students can be attentive in listening to your discussion. Okay, guys, I have here a video, and I will ask you later what have you observed to the video. Okay? And next is to persuade. Persuade, okay. So, we need to convince our students in our topic. That's why presentations are made. Yes. And then, once they are convinced, they are able to motivate to listen the topic. And once they are motivated, they are able to learn the content. And then next, that's also the reason that is also the main goal of the K-12 education, right? Yes. To expose the students in the real life situations. So, next, a good presentation includes introduction and a conclusion. So when we say of introduction, it gives teachers give students a clue or idea. Like for example, nakay topic nga ihatag. Like, kung ganao, you need to, para ma-motivate mo ang students, you will let them show a video. Like that. So, para na sila clue kung unsa na ang topic nimo o ma-motivate sila at the same time, ma-enjoy sila sa pag-discuss mo. So next is the conclusion. So usually, this happens at the closing content. Yes. And ang mga teachers usually maghatag ani kanang para it enables for them to know that their students learn the lesson. So usually na assessment unsa pa mo na siya manitabo na siya sa last part sa topic and review. Next, so to make a good presentation, there are these three components. So content. So like what I said earlier, this is the topic. This is the main goal of teaching. This is This is to give the students some information. And then next is design. So usually in our century nowadays we are engaged in technologies, and then like PPTs, like other devices para easy sa mga students na maka-learn. So usually like that, and then during our elementary years, like di ba wala pa man toy technologies, di pa kaayo uso. So mostly ang gigamit na mga instructional materials kay mga visual aids like kanang charts, flashcards, and other flowing charts like ganana. And then next is delivery. So it is able the teacher to convince the students to love the lesson so that they will learn well. So in presentation, there are verbal and non-verbal used by the teacher. So first, you need to know the room. If it is, the teacher must know if the room is kanang accommodated ba sa kanang students. What if na kay 30 ka students? Maigoro na siya sa kanang gamay nga room, di ba? Dili man. So, and of course, dapat i-make sure that the students kay comfy sa dato nga room. Dili kay siya humid, dili kay siya init. So dapat dili kay siya murag na distracting kay nga room ba. So next is, of course, we need to use the classroom as a stage. Like that. And then also we have noticed during the observation in elementary that mostly ang mga teachers kay mag-roam around. So that ang mga students kay attentive sila tanaw sa teachers. Di lara kay mustay ra sa front kay murag tukog ba. Okay, next is speak loudly and clearly. So, mo niya akong giingan ganina. So we need to speak loudly so that the students at the back can hear us. Hear the teacher. And then next, we need to speak clearly so that the students will understand well. Next, you should modulate the tone, the pitch, and speed of your speech. Dapat kalma ra, dili magpaspas. Kaya walang tagadali. Like, just ko lang ba, normal lang. Next is, of course, using of body language. So, a teacher, she must be creative in discussing. Either she will show some expressions, facial expressions. Like, dili lang siya boring tanawon ba? Once ang students kanang makita siya yung teacher kay lively sa siya. Like, agree mo na? So next is to develop a teaching persona. So as a teacher, we all know that we are now belong in the K-12 curriculum, right? So as a teacher, we have this kind of different strategies so that students can learn easily. And of course, maka-enjoy sila. Next is dapat keep track of time. So there must be a limitations of oras in teaching. That's para dili siya kanang taas ra para sa students. So in presentation in science involves a science information using the creative way of talking, the creative way of talking. making some things, just like to the science information. And then, so presentation used in teaching science. So there are these traditional ways like nga i-teach sa science. Like for example, lecture or discussion. So mostly this, di ba pag sa una, mga elementary kay mostly teacher-centered pa man to siya nga time. Only, the teacher only discussed in front without kind interacting to students. Like, not like, dili siya pariha, karon. So next is the use of chalkboard and visual aids. So usually, this is the things that the teacher used now. And of course, before and also now. And then, this is usually use of chalkboard, use of blackboard, whiteboard, and then the chunks. Chalks. And then, before, wala pa na-implement ang technology, teachers use visual aids. Like for example, they use charts, flashcards, in showing some pictures. So, next is discussion. Discussion and lecture are all the same. Yes. Next is laboratory. So, this is where experiments happen. So, what are those kanang tools or materials that was found in the laboratory? Okay.
Microscope.
Microscope, another?
Telescope.
Another, what else?
Bunsen burner.
Bunsen burner. Anyone? Beaker. Beaker.
Test tube.
That's true. So that's it. So those are the materials that are found in the laboratory. So next is experiments. So what are those experiments you've done during your high school years? Yes.
Dissect.
Can you share it?
Practicing sa frog.
Yes, guys.
Dissecting.
Sige, mo to siya. Examples. So next is, so now in 20th century, there are many changes. And sige, in 20th century presentation is teaching side. So there are kind of different way na siya, easier way of faster side. So here are PowerPoint presentation, the photograph, the video or films, the role playing, and the discrepant event. So when we say of discrepant event, this is where the students kay mag-ask kaya mo share sila o possible na mahitabo before doing the experiment. So that's it. Thank you so much. So the next speaker is Heather Marie.
So I'll be talking about the ICT integration in teaching science. So what does the ICT stands for? Sige, go ahead.
Information, communication, and technology.
Yeah. Information and communication technology. So, well, the integration is, for example, the earth science, biology, physics, chemistry, integrate na siya because it all talks about the science. So, di ba, since we are the part of the 21st century and grown up with the technology, we are called as the millennials or digital natives. Yes. Then, di ba, some schools are now adopting technology. And also teachers are now using technology as one of their instructional materials for teaching. So about teaching, there are benefits. Bubble. There are benefits of using technology in the classroom. So first, prepare students for the future. So, for example, di ba, mahatag man ang teacher, search the following. No? Like Mars, about sa planet. So in using technology, they're knowledgeable na how to use, di ba, research na sila sa internet. Yes, the next is creates more engaged environment. Like for example, I observed in grade 2. Yeah. Sa grade 2 kay bra sa baan jud na sila no. Sige lagyan. So what the teacher did is every break time nila and lunch time, so she shows movies na kanang kasagaran kay about science jud nya. Interesting man kayo nga movie, so murag ilang magbehave sila in class, di na sila sige dagandagan. The next is support collaborative skills. So from the word collaborative, so for example, a teacher decided to be on hands-on sila for experiment. So dili biya jud kaya ang bata nga sila ra usa mo experiment. So mag-group siya sa class, mag-group the class na siya for them to share information from about their observation or their research. Then, so di ba, information and communication technology divides into two. Back. Diba? So, IT and CT. So, IT, information technology, diba? The use of electronic equipment, so, like mga gadgets na to karon, cell phones, camera, mga PowerPoint, mga laptops. Then also, communication technology or CT is the process of exchanging information. We are now sending message or receiving message from Gmail, Messenger, Viber, any other apps. So let's be specific. So I see integration as audio-visual media. So first is arouses curiosity. So dili man jud tanan nga topic na easy to describe ba ya. For example, katong planets. Musot ka teacher sige ang Mars kay kani, so dili sila mag-imagine. So through the use of the technology, pwede siya ang teacher pwede mo present, di ba, using the television para makabaw sila ani di ang form sa Mars, sa Earth, yes. The next is interesting. So as a teacher, if mo use kag mga educational videos, kailangan hindi siya good quality siya, anang animated, mga kingkoy-kingkoy, ganahan ng mga bata, anak. Then kailangan ang light niya, di siya ngit-ngit tanaw sa mga bata. Then, for interesting, kailang pagtanaw sa video. The next is convenience. So, for example, ang teacher kay na siya nakita nga video niya taas kayo, so ganahan siya makaturang nga part niyang ganahan na ipa-show sa video sa mga students. So, pwede siya ma-edit like that. So, like for another example is kanang mga PowerPoint. So, di ba, ma-change man dyan na itong mga minds nga. Ay, nani na lang activity hatag sa bata. So, pwede siya ma-change. Convenient ka siya. So, next is playback. Di ba, naman dyan yung mga bata, right? Nowadays, nga mingon nga, teacher, can you play it back because I don't understand. Di ba? So the teacher will accept it and play again the video for them to be fully understand. Next, tools of ICT integration in science subjects. So as you can see, there are lots of devices, the computer, tablet, laptops, and cell phone with the use of the Wi-Fi or internet para maka-download the research or install in the computer. So there are elements of a computer. So hardware and the software. So first is hardware, LCD projector. What does the LCD stands for? Liquid crystal display. That's correct. So like for example, kita mo sa babaw, inana siya ang LCD projector para to wider the image so that the learners at the back can clearly see. The next is the television. So, diba, in the elementary departments in here in CITU, they are now having televisions in each classroom, diba? They can use it. The next is the software. So first is educational videos. So You can also use educational videos for your motivation of your topic or part of your discussion, mga tutorials about for the experiment. So I have an example of educational videos. So this is all about the parts of a plant. So nag-use na ko ani for demonstrating ni Ma'am Oro with my friends. So ang ginagawa mo cooperate mo guys ha. So ang steps kay nani. So if mingon siya flowers. So this is your flowers. Flowers touch your head. Flowers di ka siya sa kanta ni siya nga head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So your head is your flower. Your hips is your stem. Your like this will be your leaves. And touch your knee that is your roots. So the rest follow na lang nako and you also can sing. Please stand up. Ako na lang, si teacher na lang. So this one, so 1, 2, 3, go. Flowers, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots. Flowers, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots. So paspasok ka mo lang ko na, sige. 1, 2, 3, go. Flowers, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots. Flowers, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots. Okay, go faster sa. Flowers, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots. Sige, sit down na, okay na. Kailangan ka, Giovanni. So, money is from my observation in grade 3. So, teacher Stephanie also used these YouTube channels. Can you see Song Time and Bambino Show. So, this is all about, they talk about the science. Ano siya mga examples. The next software is web browser, diba? There we can search in Google, YouTube, and any other web. So for example, the CITU also adopting the DOST, diba? Sa Starbucks, naka-try na mo, search. Diba? We can also search offline ba or offline. So for example sa elementary library, ano siya dito. The next is the PowerPoint. What we are using right now. It can widen the image so that the learners at the back can hear. Speaker is Nijoy Isugan.
Good morning again. Good morning. So, my topic is the strategy that I'll be discussing is the experiment. So I know again, you're so very familiar with this word. So, who among you here have... I'm so sorry if I asked that question again, no? So, huh? No, I'm not straight. So, you are so very familiar with the word experiment. So, naka-try na ba mo mag-experiment? No? Especially in science, right? Yeah. So, what is night teacher? No, night teacher when you, di ba?
No, only
Both of you, no. So, experiment, it is wherein the student investigate a problem by manipulating a variable. So, we do experiment para kanang gusto nga kita ang maka-discover why is that phenomenon happening? Why is that phenomenon? Anong ana? Why? Diba? So we're so very curious about something. So through experiment, we'll be able to gather answers, you know. So teacher in experimentation, the teacher plays an active role. So in doing also an experiment, there are steps. So, dili lang kay, kani siguro ni, no? So, naadyo na siya steps, na siya procedures. So, first, preparation. So, in preparation stage, kay, what materials do you need in experimenting? Dapat, imo na siyang ready. Kaya what if, we have this experimentation in our natsay na the density, we talk about density. So, what our teacher told us, no, you bring these grapes, no, grapes and cups, yes. Then, ikaw sa teacher, then, wala kay mga gamit. So, do you think, for example, cups ra ang imong ikuan, do you think na mabuhat yung experiment? Di ba? Kaya wala ni mo namin at imong gusto nga ipabaw sa imong mga classmates. So, if ready na imong materials, so, nanato ang grapes, nanakuan. So, make an observation, no? You notice na, imo siya obserbaran na dili na kay kamutan-aw sa kanang picture mo. Murag mo deeper ka nga ano kanina yung sa. Diba? Mao na siya nga form a question na why is that phenomenon happening? Then form a hypothesis. So when we say hypothesis, this is an educated guess. Na ay basin kay ani, kay basin kay tungod. No, for awa ako density. So grapes. So we are told to peel the one grape, then peel baka ng panitan, peel. Peel. Then ang usa kay wala lang, dili lang na mo siya hilabtan. Then i-drop na mo siya sa water. So make an observation na ang usa ni lutaw, ang usa ni sink, lutaw ni sink. Then we form a question then. Why is it like that? Ngano ang kaning lutaw, ngano ang kanang sink niya? Ay basin tungod, no? We form a hypothesis, ay educated guess nga ay basin tungod kay kanang ang usa gipanitan, ang usa gikuan. So when na conduct an experiment, then once you're done conducting your experiment, you have to analyze the data. Since we are discussing that time about density, so your result, no, must not just something related sa density. Then you draw a conclusion. Na ang katudian so when you are going to analyze the data, so kanang nakakuan ko nga ang field 1 kay ni sink siya. Then, ang katong wala kipanitan, mao'y nilutaw. So, you draw a conclusion. Pero, if, in drawing your conclusion, dili gani mao ang kuan. For example, this thing happened. One of our classmates nga, ang ilahang grapes kay wala nilutaw or wala ba to ni sink. That's no. So, what they did is, gibalik nila. So, if you draw a conclusion, once your data collected does not support your hypothesis, then you need to kind of observe again. But if your data supports your hypothesis, then it means that you need to explain further na anong that phenomenon happened. So here are the example topics that mo choose og mo gamit og strategy ng experiment. So yes, density, naman akong example, then gravity also. So we've tried also that, and the colors. So the colors I've tried to have an experiment when we have our demonstration. Then so in experimenting, there are also reasons. Why do we need to conduct an experiment? Pwede man kani. So experiment kay will develop your skills. So communicating skills, you can communicate with kailangan experiment na with the group. Yes. So you can communicate, you can share ideas. Then it's not all dili lang kay skills ang ma-develop when you're doing an experiment, but also attitudes and values. So Just like for example curiosity, you show interest to the thing. No? Why is that happening? You will develop patience. Kaya dili kaya nadali result dili jud. So you need to wait, diba? Then critical thinking, it develops on your ability on how to judge ideas. Then it cultivates an acquiring mind. So teachers, dili kita ang wish nga kani gusto ko makatun kaani. So through experimenting, it acquires it cultivates an acquiring mind. So ang students mismo ang wish gani maganahan nga hala murag interested sila bang ganahan ko ako jud ang makakuan nganong nahitabo na maka-discover. Yes. So mana develop a habit of finding solution. So this can also be applied in our real life. So kanang when we have a problem, no? So para I will just kanang compare the experimenting in our problem na kanang dili lang kuan so mangita jud tag solution, mangita tag kuan, then learning by doing. Yes, so there are learners nga mas maka-learn sila through hands-on, through their kanang maka-experience ko sila unsa, no? On their own, yes. So enhance the children's resourcefulness and creativity. So resourcefulness, they're able to find solution. So they can be very creative. Ilang pangunahon nga, kani, ingani, siya. Then develop intelligent behavior patterns and cooperation. So, mga to ganina katong it's somehow connected to the communication skills. Through collaboration, you can So, you can communicate with your teammates na makagather mo ideas. So, in doing an experiment, there are also pointers. So, the teacher must be involved. Yes, the teacher must be involved, but the teacher must only facilitate or guide. Pero kung you're doing an experiment na for a whole class, then very dangerous good, like for example, where you will use acid na mga ana. So, probably the teacher will be the one to manipulate the thing. Then students must also be an active participant. So, mao nakalahian sa demonstration. Kaya demonstration, probably the teacher will be only kanamay mo demo, sa experiment, student engagement yun. So, kamo jud ang mo para just like what Miss Geraldine lately, no, the example niya. Then, problem must be well-defined and clearly understood to avoid misunderstanding. Kaya what if ang kanang mo po as experiment no, wala kasabot, so wala sila padungan kung unsa ay wala sila kanang agianan kung unsa padungan ba kung ano sila yung gusto nga kung sila gusto nga padungan. An answer must not be given in advance. So, of course, kaya diba you will give what do you mean with this? You will give chance to your students to discover. Yes. So materials that are you will also choose materials that are easily and locally available should be used. Yes, this is very kuan kay. What if magamit ka nga wala na kita diri sa Pilipinas, di ba? Yeah, so dili sad like siya ay there are teachers nga very thrifty, like dili sa thrifty, but dili gani sa gusto nga mo spend ang ilang students so very much ay kanang expensive na makuan. So dapat dali ra nila makitaan di ba na sa ganin na nga, they are so very resourceful and they will kind of creative so makita o So, experiments should be conducted in a manner that will make the teacher think. And lastly, choose one variable to be tested at one time. For example, now, yes, this is very common. One variable to be tested at one time. So for example, kanang nagkuhan mo sa plants. For example, experiment here is the plants. So, ang inyong i-observe is the plants na ay sunlight, ay kanang bang exposed sa sunlight o ang plants nga dili exposed sa sunlight. So, ang imong variable is ang sunlight, di ba? So, dili ka man nga, what if tubigan siya, what if ang soil. So, ang imong yung basis is ang sunlight o ang anak siya. So, okay, that ends my topic. So, for the next speaker, he will be talking about inquiry-based learning, Mr. Bubble. Mr. Lawrence Bubble.
Thank you, Mayjoy. So my topic is all about inquiry-based learning. So I have already mentioned what is IBL is an active learning for students, and it is also a method used for teaching and learning. So it is a learning and teaching method that prioritizes students' question, ideas, and analysis. So it focuses on students' questions. So the students are the one who will make questions, and they will make their own ideas and analysis of that question. So it is also important to view the role of each of the student and the teacher. Perspective. From a student focuses on investigating an open question. So they only focus on making a question. So in inquiry-based, the teacher doesn't make a question. The students only create their own question, and they create their own analysis about it. From a teacher point of view, focuses on moving students beyond general curiosity. It is the job of the teacher to make the students develop their critical thinking skills, their problem-solving skills, and create their own research about that question or topic. Inquiry activities in the form of case studies. So, have you done case studies, guys?
No, we're not taking no.
No, not law is not the only one that has case studies, but next is group projects. So we all have group projects in elementary, high school, and college. So how about you, Pat? What group project did you have in elementary?
Reading.
What?
Reading.
In elementary, you did group project about that?
Yes, reading.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Pat. Group projects are important also because in group projects, it is discussed earlier that discussion. Cherry May Chang mentioned that group projects share their ideas, create their own ideas by their experiences. So in this scenario, they're already creating their analysis, their conclusions, and they make their own answers. Next is research projects. So we all know that ECED and SPED and the secondary education students have this. So Rain, could you share some of your experience in your research? Is it possible? Is it okay, ma'am?
Main experience na struggle.
Struggle?
Really struggle. Research projects really require time. So that makes it a struggle because we are taking many subjects. So including the research, doing the research that makes including the research mana ang naka-struggle. So we lack time.
So time is the problem. Okay. How about the problem, Rain? How did you create your problem in your research? Or okay, too much asking. Sorry. Fieldwork. So fieldwork is like our FS2, right?
Yes.
You have already. Yeah, again in FS2. In science, it is commonly used in like I think in biology they study the soil, the plants, the kinds of plants or the botany. Yes, but because they in science, the field work is they observe the environment of a certain organism, and that's why they need to go to the field and focus on it. Next, there are four types of inquiry-based learning. First is confirmation inquiry. Second is structured inquiry, and the third one is guided inquiry, and the fourth one. The level one is confirmation. Confirmation learning. First is confirmation inquiry. Second is structured inquiry, and the third one is guided inquiry, and the fourth one is open. The level one is confirmation. Confirmation is when the teacher creates the question, gives the method, and gives the answer. It is commonly used before in traditional teaching because the teacher is spoon feeding the students, but which is not good or it's not. I think it's not effective. The second level is structured. Structured is the teacher gives the question, still gives the question and the method, but they don't give the answer. So it is the job of the students to create the answer. The next is guided. Guided is this one is it's nice because the teacher doesn't give the method or the process how to do the experiment or whatever in the science subject in the topic. Next is open. So open is the job of teacher here is to give time and support. Just like in the research na sila na imo create sa question, sa method, and the answer. So in this scenario, murag ang students is ma-independent na siya, dili na siya kuan nga mag-depend sa teacher or mag-agad sa teacher nga siya buhat like the usual na high school and elementary level. So in this table, it shows the difference between IBL and traditional teaching approach. So first is the principal learning theory. In inquiry-based, it shows constructivism. Third, and traditional is behaviorism, so it focuses in behavior and changes in behavior. The second is student participation. So in IBL, the students are active, so they participate in the classroom, which is nice. And traditional is passive, so they only listen and do what the teacher wants them to do. That third one is student involvement in outcomes. So in IBL, increased responsibility. So increased responsibility means that the students work. The teacher's job becomes lesser because the student's job increases and the responsibility in creating that solution will increase. The traditional is decreased responsibility. So in traditional, the students don't do much anymore. Students' role, problem solver in IBL. Traditional is direction follower, so they only follow the teacher's direction. Curriculum goals, process oriented, and the traditional is product oriented. Teacher's role in IBL is facilitator or guide, and traditional is director or transmitter of knowledge. The teacher's role in IBL is very critical because if the teacher teaches in science and then she doesn't do much or doesn't guide the students in developing their skills or knowledge. So in traditional, you can say that teaching science is just spoon feeding because the students don't have involvement or don't have any participation. IBL and teaching science adopts an investigative approach to teaching and learning, where students are provided with opportunities to investigate a problem, search for possible solutions, make observations, ask questions, test out ideas, and think creatively and use their intuition. So, nag-depend din sa teacher tanan sa IBL. So the next speaker is Nizali.
So hello, good morning everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming despite the storm, huh? So, my teaching strategy is about simulation. Who knows simulation here? Or naka-experience lang sa una is na-simulation nga gikuan sa lahang school. Who? There? Oh, none. Oh, so, so sa una wala din ta naka-try nga na-simulation sa ating classroom. So, for us, kay OBE naman ta. So, let's bring simulation to our classrooms, okay? So, are you familiar with Kidzania? Yes! So what do they do there? What do they teach? Yes? Simulation. Yes, like role playing. Yes. Kidzania prepares young learners to be prepared in the real life scenarios or mga situations. So dapat kita kinanasad ta. So let's bring Kidzania to our classrooms. So in a cheapest way. Because simulation is cheap raman siya. You can do this without spending too much money. So yes. So every strategies have different characteristics. So that's simulation. So the first one is it provides mix of experiences. Of course, if this child has this experience about a topic or a certain topic in science, of course, iya na ma-share because it's collaborative, di ba? So, iya na ma-share iyang experience to the others. So, mo na siya nga, simulation can, by that, kay kanang dugay ba maligtan sa bata if they do it. It's like the Chinese proverbs, tell me and I forgot, show me and I remember, then involve me and I will understand. Or kanang dijudya kanang dili mawala sa bata gani if ever iya jud gibuhat ang kana siya ng thing. So that's why it's a provided mix of experiences. So at the Asiglia Carlos has this experience and ganang yes, ganang So next is it provides safe environment. Because, for example, this is the field trips. So instead of going to butterfly sanctuary or talk more about butterflies or the pagdako sa butterflies ba? Yes. So instead of going there and taking the risk of example mga simbakula, mga accidents like that, bring the field trips into your classroom. Like, okay, you simulate you do the simulation in the classrooms. Like that. And then focus on application rather than recalling. This simulation kay HATS ni siya. You know what HATS means, di ba? Yes. Higher order thinking skills. It's not just recalling of the concepts, it's not just recalling of the terms. You apply what the teachers taught you. What are those concepts? What are those? Like that. And provide immediate feedback on performance. This is what I like the most in simulation because agad-agad, yun ang performance, yun siya immediate feedback. The performance of the young learners, makita na yun niya nga, okay, if I do this, this is what will happen. If I do this, like mga inanang scenarios. So, what siya no? So, if we decide na to, why should we use that? Why should we use that kind of strategy? What for? So, let's think of this, Your students, you can help them in decision-making and problem-solving skills. Okay, di ba? Ganiha, immediate feedback siya. The performance, kay immediate feedback. So, ang iyang decision is mas ma-enhance pa nimo kay, okay, if I do this, nakakuha na ba ko nga, if katulad sa inulate mini teacher sa among science, if I do this, this is will happen. So, nana siya mga possibles nga mga scenarios in his head, nga possibles nga mga answers, or kan dili siya agad-agad muhimo sa decisions. And active involvement, of course, all of the students must be active in doing the simulation for it to be successful. It applies principles and theories. Those principles na imong gitudlo, those concepts, those terms, iya tong ma-apply, iya tong magamit. That's why it says there nga, i-apply niya, and it engage in deep learning. So who knows what deep learning is? Do you have any idea? Deep learning. So, yeah, it's not just kind of mere memorizing. Okay, we did not go to the school just to memorize what our teachers taught us, right?
Yes.
We're here to be prepared to be a teacher.
Yes. Not to be
Oh, so there. If we say deep learning, it's learning scientific methods. We can let our students to be scientists. They can be scientists. Yes, they can. They can extend their knowledges. They can reflect out of it. Like okay, if after the experiments, baka ni example ni Joy, after the experiments, maghimo sila yung reflection paper out of it. Oh, pwede sad. Yes, Korea sa seminar, exactly. Now we're talking about what makes the OBE nindot siya as a strategy. So now, how can we use it in our teaching? So, parehas sa itong lesson plan, we need to have plan. Because simulation man needs time. So, kinahanglan sa atong lesson plan, naastay gihatag nga kanang time para niya. Because kinahanglan mo din siya longer time in simulation. Bawala naka-drawbacks niya ba? Na kanang, it needs time man, it needs preparation. So, dapat sa imong lesson plan, you decide to kuan the lesson plan. So, dapat gigahin nga time. And of course, dapat ang materials, ang lessons, and your learners, kaya ka ng kuwan siya, appropriate po siya sa imuhang, ay ang topic ni mo is appropriate siya sa imong learners, sa imong topic, yes. Then, active students participation. To do the simulation, kanang success, kinahanglan there is a collaboration between the teacher and the student. And here, the teacher is a facilitator. Of course, you will not just let your students do the thing without even kanang tanawan nimo kung okay, sakto ba nimo pagkabuhat or ang saba, di ba? So dapat ikaw sila guide. You are there to facilitate your students. And post-simulation discussion or the debriefing. They need to reflect on what they have done or the experiments. So for di ba, nag-talk about drawbacks. So the researchers, kaya nakabaw man sila nga drawbacks ni like kuan siya, hands-on siya for the teachers and kuan. So they research studies kanang activities that would kanang maka-accommodate sa simulation and madala siya in the classroom. So here are, I pick up 3. So here are the types of activities in simulation. We have the game. We can have games in our science. Did you have?
Yes.
Oh, Lisa, can you? Oh, you said yes. Maybe not. Who else? Pat. You said yes. So what kind of games did you have? You can still recall. What games?
Reading.
In science or other?
Quizzing the solar system interactively.
Yes. Pwede siya. So, kani siya diri, gipakita sa diri is the tissue bank science. So, the tissue bank science is, magkana ka, it's just simple. You have to recycle. Kana, tuduan mo ang bata how to segregate. So, it's related to real life situations man. So, kana, oh, makatun sila pag-segregate, something like that. Role playing. So to differentiate first, let's differentiate first the simulation and role playing. Simulation is the students will determine the outcome, but in real role playing, na identify na o na-determine na kung unsa ang outcome. So if we combine the role playing and the simulation, then you will give your students a role which is related in the real life situation in a simulated environment. So inaana siya ang pamaagi. So example kanang muhatag ka kanang earthquake drills. Oh, may na. They will role play or role play nila ang about sa earthquake drills ana. So mabalan lang kung sa ilang buhaton if magka-earthquakes. Computer. So I asked one of my students in grade 4 what did they do in their computer. So they found out dito kanang mag-make sila, mag-animate sila, mga tao-tao, something like that. So we can use that in our science. We can use ICT kung reach mo na yung money. So you can use computer as computer as your simulation. So pwede mo ipakaw ng mga body organs, mga body parts like that, mga ana. So next speaker is Rosin Caliantan.
Thank you, Binibini Lim. Miss Lim. Okay, I'm back again twice in here in front of you. Graphic organizer. A graphic organizer is our teacher mostly use this strategy. So, a graphic organizer is a visual of representation of knowledge that arrange organizedly from our information. Magka-organize siya, magkabahig sa di-gubot. Next is, if you're wondering why graphic organizer or GOs, in short, that strategy, just one of the strategy in teaching science, because graphic organizer are flexible and can be used in any strategy in science. This can be related, example, in experiment, right? The teacher will use experiment about kanang sa munggos, ka-experiment mo, kanang duha ka ba usab tang sa sunlight, ang usay tapos kabinet. Diba? Diba, basta mag-experiment when you do an experiment, you will use scientific method, right?
Yes.
Scientific method can be used in experiment, and you can use this as a graphic organizer from the beginning, asking question until the conclusion, right?
Yes.
If we do scientific method, what will happen to the learners? Magkahiyagaw sila, dili magka-sinabot. Nya like mag-start sila sa hypothesis, nya wala sila nangutanang sa main problem ana. Next is there are reasons for using graphic organizer. First is critical and creative thinking. I know you have background knowledge about this since I think it was Miss Tapping discussed about this. creative thinking is ability to, yes, organize, to ability to judge the ideas, and what creative thinking is to generate ideas. Next is organizing information. So the content must be understandable and in a chronological order, right? Next is understanding information and relationship, and depicting knowledge and understanding. And lastly is the self-learning. So according to John Dewey, learning is by doing, right? Yes. But the teacher will only facilitate the learners, but they will do self-learning on their own. There are benefits in using graphic organizer in the content areas. So, what do you think? What are the benefits of the using graphic organizer? Anyone? Yes, Lisa? Can you share to me? Yes, you're right. Another one. Lastly. How about you, Mr. Pat? Pastor P.
So that students will be able to organize their topic critically and creatively.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pan. You may sit down right now. The benefits of using graphic organizer for teachers, so that make their lesson interactive and not boring. And also, it helps the students to organize information easily, and for the students, understand the aspect of the information. Next is according to Darch and Carnine states that what students need to acquire higher order comprehension skills such as evaluative and creative. It provides a solid foundation. To understand literal information. And next slide. According to Hermes points out that when students are reading non-fiction texts, they need to develop specific strategy to approach such specific challenges, and so on and so on. So when our graphic organizer can be used? This can be used in many learning activities. It helps the students to organize the information and focus their ideas. And also, graphic organizers can be used in enhanced reading, the 4R skills, because this can be developed their comprehension and their writing skills. Lastly is used during the planning of writing. When you use the graphic organizer, you think at the same time you write what you have, think of what you have, kasi mo have na idea. So why GOs are important? So why is graphic organizer are important? Anyone? Miss Lisa.
Para ma-organize. Nice siya in sequence.
Oh, you're right. Graphic organizer are important to gather and sweep through the ideas, and in sequence order, and focus their thoughts in just simple phrase and patterns and relationship. So the graphic organizer are sorted in 4 categories. The first is conceptual, hierarchical, cyclical, and sequential. First is conceptual. Conceptual use relationship among concepts. Yes, suitable for presenting the central idea with supporting information. So the concept maps, the conceptual graphic organizer has its own subcategories. These are the concept maps, Venn diagram, and KWHL. We have familiar the KWHL right during our discipline teaching. And I have given example, Venn diagram. These two interlocking circles, the example is compare and contrast the physics and chemistry. Right, next slide. Concept maps. Yes. About matter, and have example and its properties. Next. And next. And second is hierarchical graphic organizer. It sets up the main idea of the concepts. And the hierarchical graphic organizer has its own subcategories: the classifying chart, hierarchical chart, branching diagram, and the subtopics web. Hierarchical chart is breaking down it main concept. Animals, the kingdom of animals have its mammals, reptiles, and insects, and below that, and so on, and to the last. Next. And another one, living things. So living things is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And below that, it's kingdoms. Cyclical organizer. A cyclical organizer is show a series of events in process of circular arrangement. So there are some subcategories in circle organizer, circle map, and circle diagram. Example is the photosynthesis. So the main concept is the photosynthesis. So on the big circle, are the ideas about photosynthesis. Yes, water also, the main ideas, and outside the circle are the importance and about waters and how it used. Lastly is sequential graphic organizer is happy during of events and timeline. And there are subcategories: cause and effect, problem solution, and the T chart, and the storyboard, and sequencing chart. I'm giving example is the T chart about the disadvantages of the natural resources, the renewable and the non-renewable. And the next speaker will be Miss Bisaria about cooperative learning.
Guys, we'll make it fast lang sad ha. So here, cooperative learning, we always encounter this one, right? So it is an instructional strategy in which small groups of students work together on a similar task. So here, kita bitaw dire, di ba, mo cooperate, dapat kita in a group, we have to cooperate for the main goal to be achieved. So the 5 basic elements by David Johnson and Roger Johnson. So positive interdependence. So here in positive interdependence, the students are responsible for their own learnings and their effort as a group, and it is vital that the students should perform their roles in the group. Face-to-face interaction, so it is more ang group work is much kuan siya if naatanan face ma-interact nimo ang imong mga ka-groupmates. And then individual and group accountability is each one of us has be responsible for our own part and meeting the goal of the task. So group behaviors, ang behavior nga ikaw what is your like sa inyong group, imuhang social, imuhang communicative skills, imuhang the way you interact to your group mates. So group processing, it is where your kanang inyong group, ang inyong task is being processed by the group. Dili lang kay ikaw ra usabat, di ba? Lain sad kayo. So the students or the group should have fair effort in the group. So more to siya.
So, to make it fast, so first is what is important. What is cooperative learning is important. What is cooperative learning is important. Why? So cooperative learning important because the learners must build their own self confidence and motivation to achieve that particular goal or particular task that given from the teacher. So that's what we call cooperative learning. So next, there are 11 or 12 student rules. There are 11 student rules. We have organizer, team facilitator, elaborator, research runner, recorder, checker, questionnaire, assessor, and encourager. Summarizer as well, spokesperson, and timekeeper. So first, organizer. So organizer is, ano siya bali taon na nag-ano siya kanang organize gani siya nagbali sequence siya ba murag siya ang arrange. So thank you. So second is recorder. Kasi recorder. So recorder is ano siya ang taon na nag-list down sa mga important information and important details, then so on and so forth. Second is the checker. So, ang checker, yung work is to make sure that all team members understand and we understood the concept. Yeah, right, Pat? Okay, third is questionnaire. So, questionnaires generate question involves all the students. So, as a team nga mag-facilitate or conduct seminar, na sa question and answer para ang isa ka seminar is lively ba? Siya. Next is assessor to evaluate all the information, all the learnings, tapos the projects as well. Diba siya evaluate to kanang tama ba ni siya or sa pay dapat tidungag. So next is encourager. So an encourager is man siya dapat positive thinker na siya, positive iyang personal para maka-encourage pa siya og mga tao pa dili siya ma-look down, dili siya mawala sa track ba. So next is summarizer, relates the team conclusion or answer. So as we said, summarizer is the one is the best is the important as a team because he or she knows everything the entire seminar. So next is spokesperson, represent the group and present group works. So familiar kayo siya na? Yes. So next is timekeeper. Keep group tasks and on time. So timekeeper, very conscious kayo sa time, dapat mapasa ng on time, on the go, ano na siya. And then next is time facilitator, then elaborator, researcher rather, common na kayo sa tuwa. Then next is challenging group dynamics. Familiar kayo, di ba? Yes. Brainstorming, use the checklist to help students resolve conflict, give clear written guidelines for each student's roles. So next. Yes, some specific signal if the noise level is too high. Like, ganun dapat no, dili kayo mag-disturb no, kaya para hindi kayo ma-distract ang mga presenter. Okay, so have students use their journals to record how they would like their group to implement the specific collaborative skills. So, next. Familiar na kayo na siya? With can you use it? Cooperative learning can be used in any class and any level of subject area. It works well with, it is part of the culture of the classroom. So, cooperative learning, di lang siya sa school involved, di lang sa school. Even the outside sa atong campus, pwede tayo maka-use of cooperative learning. Okay? So next, science. Before completing experiments, use cooperative groups to create and discuss hypotheses. So as they discuss naman yun na siya sa ang side, so familiar na kayo sa nato. Then next. Okay. Whatever approach to teaching you see, it is important to keep the following points in mind. So, your main focus should be on learning rather than on teaching, right? Okay, then, student cannot learn if they do not think. Dapat ato natin yung buhaton sa ito estudyante, kaya kung dili nato na siya buhaton, so, ang estudyante mo na siyang mangmang, di ba? Di ba pa? Okay. So, thinking is facilitated and encouraged by the processes that you use to engage the student with the content as well as the content itself. Next is your subject that exists in isolation. You help students make link to other subjects. So, integrate na siya sa mga okay, next. Okay, that's all. That would be all. Thank you.
That was the end of our seminar. To acknowledge the people who contributed to the success of our group, may I call on Ms. Alim for the closing remarks.
The group extends its profound gratitude to Ms. Rose Antegulo for spearheading the activity and giving us the opportunity to experience organizing and conducting a seminar. Thank you so much for the journey and memories that help us to develop and grow. Special thanks to the school administration for allowing us to conduct the seminar and to utilize the school facilities. Also to the school staff who have helped us in preparing the venue and maintaining orderliness. To all the participants, thank you. And for making part of our journey, to all people who have contributed to our success, thank you so much. And most of all, to God Almighty. So, this is the end of our seminar. We're now signing off.
Okay, so before you go, please. Right, so you can go, but before you do, please don't forget to sign out and sign your linya, para di magkagrupo, linya lang. Then please